Herald-Press editor Megan Greavy. Here's a look at the Wednesday, June 25th edition of the Herald-Press. In our top story, 3 of the people involved in a 31-person drug bust earlier this year were sentenced Tuesday morning in the Huntington County Superior Court. Benjamin Keene was sentenced to 20 years for a single charge of dealing in meth as a Class B felony and a habitual substance offender enhancement. Trevor Harden of Bluffton was sentenced to 8 years in prison and 2 years on probation for charges of dealing in a Schedule II controlled substance as a Class B felony. And Joseph Engelman, 29, was sentenced to 12 years in prison for charges of dealing in meth as a Class B felony and for a habitual substance offender enhancement. Also in tomorrow's paper, a Huntington man was sentenced to 35 years in prison after pleading guilty to dealing meth within 1,000 feet of a youth program center. His name is Matthew Page. Alright, also in tomorrow's paper, I went to the butterfly workshop that the Purdue Extension hosts around this time every year. They say they do about 2 between Labor Day and Memorial Day in an effort to get people outside looking for butterflies, raise awareness about butterflies, get kids interested in science, all kinds of things like that. And so Karen Henshaw gave a lot of information about monarchs and other kind of butterflies. And it was really interesting, pretty cool. So yeah. And then also in tomorrow's paper, the Democratic Party has selected Ray Tackett to run for the 4th District County Council position. The position is, he would go up against incumbent Don Davenreiner in the general election. Also in tomorrow's paper, the Huntington City Common Council talked about possible changes to the annexation ordinance. They were looking at what it would look like if they only stopped the annexation up to 24 and not passed it. So they didn't make any decisions on that. They wanted to get some more information for their next meeting. And Mayor Brooks Fetters also talked to the County Council about annexation at their meeting last night. So we kind of looked at both of those. Also, speaking of County Council, they discussed job descriptions and salary changes that were available to some different county entities. And they also talked about, they approved CF1 forms for tax compliance forms, basically for tax abatements for several companies as well. Also, more meeting stuff. The school board, the Huntington County Community School Board of Trustees, voted down the textbook rental fees for the 2014-15 school year. That vote failed 3-4. And the school board members that I talked to who said they voted against it were saying that they wanted to look at looking at different ways to fund that, how it's funded, just kind of cost-saving measures for parents. So they're going to revisit that at their July 14th meeting. Alright, in sports, we take a look at the Huntington North girls varsity and JV volleyball teams are kind of getting a different, they're in a sand volleyball league up in Fort Wayne, which gives them, you know, the ability to play volleyball still, but they're also kind of experiencing it in a different way. You know, obviously sand adds some elements that aren't available or are different than a hardwood floor. So, sports editor Justin Shockey takes a look at that preparation, and then also we give an update on how Puttin Pete Chinower did for his 81 golf, or his big marathon of golf that he did on Monday. He said it went really well, it raised a good amount of money, and he finished at a pretty decent time, so he was really happy. So, for more on those, lots of meetings, lots of court stuff, lots of stuff going on today. So, for more on those, check out tomorrow's paper, or they'll be online all by 8 o'clock. We invite you to, read them, learn more about what's going on in your community.